All right, so here's a few other books that I just love to have, and I think you should have them too. They're just good, they're fun, but they're very informative as well. Now, I want to let you know that the reason why I'm really interested in sharing these books with you is because, as I said, I come from a long line of hereditary witches. And with all the learning and the knowledge that I have accumulated through my lineage, these books brought a little something else into it. And I love that. They really did help form me, because my craft is very different than my grandmother's on both sides. Even talking to my grandmother once, she said to me that her craft is very different than her parents' craft was, her mother's craft was. So it's an evolution, and I found that these books just kind of brought in a different element for me personally, and it allowed my craft to grow, expand in different ways. Because you got to remember, when my great-grandmother, my great-grandmother, my great-great-grandmother were doing the craft, they didn't have as much information as we have now. And I can tell you this, knock on wood, I'll just knock on wood here, that I found that my grandmother started incorporating some of the things that I had learned when they saw me doing my craft. So we're going to go into the books that I just really recommend you having. Now there is one, the book is called A Century of Spells by Draja Mickaharic. I would put this up in the top, to be honest with you, but I wanted to single this out. This book is a must-have. A lot of people who are starting into the craft, what they do not understand and they do not learn is how to protect themselves. And it's very, very important. You'll hear a lot of people saying, oh, you don't need to protect yourself, and that is bullshit, right? That is just complete lies. And I've met too many people, and I've had to cleanse too many people who have started dabbling with the craft and had no idea how to protect themselves and called in energies and negativity. Because again, when you start doing the craft, your light goes out and everything sees you. It sees you and it wants to be around you and it wants to attach itself to you. I've seen people who came to me who just literally were holding on to their sanity by a thread. I have had people come to me who said, Odin, I'm so tired. I don't know why I'm tired. And we've gone through so many different things. And I've learned in my years as a high priest to ask people straight up, have you been protecting yourself with magic? Because they want to do this spell and they want to do it quick. So they get there, they start lighting candles, they start burning incense, they start invoking with absolutely no protective barrier around them. And then all these other areas and these deities and these beings and whatnot just start attaching themselves, and then they feel sluggish and their aura is completely off. So this book is a wonderful book because it teaches you to cleanse, protect. You need to have this book. It is fundamental in learning how to cleanse yourself. Protection books, there's a lot of wonderful protection books out there that you can get, but this book here shows you protection as well, and it's very easy to read, and it's very easy to apply in your life, so it's a must-have. Now another book that I highly recommend is the Book of Stones, and I believe that is from Robert Simmons. He's awesome, and Naisha, Ahsian, I think that's how you pronounce it. I love this book because I love Robert. Robert is very... the Naisha, she's a little fluffier, but Robert, man, he gets right down to the nitty-gritty, and I like that about him. He's a hardcore. Like, he's more of, if I was to say an energy, he would be more of a root worker type of energy. He's like, this is what you use it for. These are the properties of it. Healing properties, magical properties. It's just a really good book to have. Now, I've owned Scott Cunningham's Book of Stones, and many different books of stones, and I always go back to this one because it is just a wonderful book to have in regards to understanding the powers of the stones, utilizing the powers of the stones. If there's storm energy, earth, air, fire energy, it's just good. So that's a definite you need to have book. Now here's another good book that I absolutely love. And there's two of them. And it's called Invoking the Goddess. And there's another one called Invoking the God. These books are unlike any books that I've seen before. There are 3 different pantheons of gods there, and I think it's just wonderful because there's a lot of things that people don't know about invoking gods. Even people who have been studying their whole life. I mean, I had a friend who is Sikh, and Shiva is his god. And when we were discussing, when he started learning about the craft, I said to him, so what do you do when you invoke your God when you invoke God Shiva. And he started telling me, and I said, well, do you not put a candle here that's supposed to be, close to your third eye so that you have that direct connection, that bridge between, and he had no idea about this. And his family had no idea about this. And once he started reading this book and started understanding about it, he was like, wait a minute, I can now feel the presence of Shiva where I couldn't before. And it was just little simple things like this that he was not doing in his magical working. And this book is great because what Kyla did is she gave you gods and goddesses that can actually be around each other, that can actually are comfortable with each other, that there's not going to be that energy or that conflict. So, again, invoking the gods and invoking the goddesses, another must-have book if you want to be working with those deities, gods and goddess energy. And last but not least, I love this book, and everybody's all like, wow, because it's kind of cheesy, but it's so good, and it's so powerful. It is the Crone's Book of Magical Spells and the Crone's Book of Words by Miss Valerie Worth. Let me tell you, they are worth it. I love Valerie's book on spells, magical spells. She gave me so many different talismans in it. She gave me different potions and little spells, and she's a very old witch from what I've heard. But she really was able to bring in this kind of art into the craft, and I just loved it. Like this book, like I said, I used it until it fell apart. I had to buy it again, and I just love this book. It's not a book that I would say, is the forefront of magical literature, right, or Wiccan or spiritual literature. But I will say that it is just a wonderful book to have on your magical shelf, because you will find that you will pull those books off more than you think. Okay? So, love them. And I love the Book of Words because Valerie, she just has this, she's a poet, plain and simple. She's a poet, and she really got me into the whole rhyming and the art of the craft. Like, she got me into the art of writing spells. She got me into that feeling of that old woman over the cauldron stirring away. That's what Valerie did. Valerie just really brought that whole history of the craft to light. And as I said, I come from a hereditary line of witches. Sometimes what happens is when you see your grandmother whipping up a potion in the backyard in the cauldron, you kind of get used to it, right? You're just like, yeah, that's Nanny just, whipping up a brew. And it's fine. It's fine. But it's second nature to her. So that kind of art it's not really there. Valerie brought that art back to me. She brought that art back, and I was like, here you go. This is what the craft's about. And I love it. So it's just another book that, if you're going to go out and you want to buy something that's going to be fun to have, a good read, and really informative and helpful, but in a different type of way than, let's say, you would get from Wicca Guide to the Solitary Practitioner or The Complete Idiot's Guide of Witchcraft, you can't do any better than Miss Valerie Worth. Plain and simple. And the very last book that I have here is the Eat Clean Diet Cookbook book by Miss Toscarino. Now, darlings, this has absolutely nothing to do with the craft, but it's just one hell of a book. Anyways, everybody, that is our episode for today. I just wanted to share this knowledge with all of you. I'm going to try and keep this as real as I can for y'all. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and there is a lot of people who are just in there dabbling and feeling that they can get out there and give you information. But I'm here to tell you, boo-boos, that for me, I want to make sure you get the information that is needed, that you get the information that allows you to follow your path, and that you can take all the naysayers that have been in the craft and are stuck in their way, trying to pull you off your track, boo-boo. That doesn't happen here in Witch Please. We nurture your path. And as I said, if you have not subscribed, y'all, subscribe, join the Witch Please family. You can follow us on Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, as well as Facebook. You can always send me a personal email at witchpleaseofficial@gmail.com. My blessed newbie witches and my witches who have been looking for a lot of this information and can't find it, I love you all very much. This one is for you. It's a pleasure having you in my magic. It is a pleasure having you in my life. And you are always in my heart. And you can always come back to Witch Please to get the straight goods